We'll call the meeting to order. This is the Michigan City Port Authority Board of Directors meeting, Monday, November the 14th. Our first order of business will be to approve or correct minutes from the October 31st meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Do we have any questions or comments? Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. The minutes are approved. Phil, would you like to address the board as our guest?
I have a question. Is that one of the new life insurers there?
Oh, yeah.
No, that's all I was going to say. No, I do not have anything.
All right. Mr. Frank.
All right. Currently, we're pulling safety ladders out in the marina and finishing up installing de-icers and making sure everything's put away for the winter. We've also started putting together the Christmas lights out here and stringing the trees and some of the fence line and things. And I brought in a show and tell this time. That is the case that's mounted out on the pier. There are 11 of those out on the pier. And inside is a 24-inch throw ring and 100 feet of rope. Now, I put the ring inside that one, but I didn't bring the rope down. You would open it by popping that rubber knob where Dan is. Yep, go ahead and pop it. And as he opens it, you'll notice that little white indicator pops open. That way you can visually see that the case has been opened since the last time you set it. And then you just grab the ring out of there and the rope and have at it.
Are they worried the kids are gonna come along and open those things up?
Yes, they are. And the fire department's putting together a plan to check them periodically. They're fastened with a breakaway tie wrap at the end. You know, you can't really lock them. But the case is screwed to the pier. And apparently there is some type of alarm that goes with it, but they don't have those quite yet. I guess they were backwards. So those have been installed out on the pier, and that's the same thing they want to put on the wall over here from the Coast Guard station to the Franklin Street Bridge.
You know how many more they're putting up?
That I'm not sure. If they follow the every 100 feet, they would probably be 8 or 9, I would guess.
Well, it's 400 feet from the bridge to the river.
Yeah. So, and that's all I have for now, unless anybody has any questions about anything.
Is the alarm mechanism just for alerting purposes, or does it actually communicate to somewhere
I
else?
believe it just makes noise.
Yeah.
I don't believe it calls anybody or does anything. I've not seen one yet, that's just what I was told.
A lot of West Law here, they're gonna put some along there, say every 100 feet?
They would like to,
Okay. They're gonna,
pending our approval.
okay, that's what I thought. Do you know the location? Is that gonna stop within the morning of the boats coming in?
It shouldn't.
It'll be up high enough?
Well, yeah, I think that's yet to be determined, but I don't think we'll let them put it where it's gonna be in the way. Though I'm sure it'll be a little different because there is a little bit of size to that. I'm imagining they're gonna place them on the metal uprights that are over there now. You know, just like currently there's a flagpole attached to every other one.
So that won't interfere with the
I don't think
boat
so.
show with them tying up to it, the
No,
handicap races? No.
I don't expect so.
Okay.
Anything on the water department's project, whether they're finishing up?
They are finishing up. I don't know that they're completely finished yet. The barge is still here.
I saw that.
But they should be wrapping up any day. I talked to Randy Russell and he said they only have a couple days at the most left, so they should be clearing out here shortly.
Anything more on the Corps coming back and working on the government,
I've not heard anything more on that.
Thank you.
Any other questions of the Harbor Master? I'd like to raise the question again about the park master plan. And of course, course, maybe Bruce. And we'll save that for your report, Bruce. Okay. Mrs. Chouiki?
Our winter statistics, we did get one more vote, so we're up to 249 was the final total for the number of votes we have for winter storage this year. I've also given you the 2017 new customers listing, and right now we are up 5 more than we were at the end of November last year. So we're doing well in that. Our next meeting, regular meetings, will be December 5th and 12th. They will be back to back in December. I just wanted to remind everybody on that.
I'm sorry.
The 5th and the 12th.
Yes. Thank you. We adjusted the rates on the 50s and 60s, I know. And it looks like there are 5 50s and 60s new customers. You think, loaded question, you think that had, yeah,
Some of them had nothing to do, but they just called and took the slips.
Okay.
Because I was counting up the money belonged every time we rented one out. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Board, any questions of Mrs. Chouiki? Well, to take up with your comment, Mr. Ferguson, just looking at the new customer report, it's interesting. Of these new customers, we have 19 35-footers, 6 40s, 1 45, 3 50s, and 2 60s. 8 of those boats are from Illinois. The other 24 are all northern Indiana. That's new, that's different. Dan, you've been around here a long time. You haven't seen this kind of saturation out of northern Indiana like we've had maybe the last 3 years, have you?
I have not, especially on these larger size boats that are coming down here from somewhere else, I'm sure.
So I think that's all good news.
Kind of interesting how they had heard of us also. It's either by a referral or word of mouth or something. Looks like a percentage of them is by communicating.
Mrs. Chouiki, are you not involved with the State Board of Accounts right now?
Yes, they're working on the audit now for 2015.
And what's the status?
We just give them everything they ask for.
Okay, do you have any idea when your exit interview is going to take place?
I would think probably in about 2 weeks.
Okay.
Because I know they have to be gone from the city in 2 weeks.
I think the board would appreciate having a list of any deficiencies or recommendations
Okay.
that they make. You can present that at the appropriate time. You have anything else?
That's all.
Okay. Mr. Garrett, budget, finance?
All right, I just have one thing tonight, and that's our bills from since the previous meeting. I'm gonna touch on about 6 of the 31 items. The very first one on the top of our list is for $10,543.17 of their NIPSCO bill. The third item down is for $9,868.78 is our payroll. 6th item down is for $22,222.03 is our fees for our watercraft user fees that we pay to the city that we collect from the boaters when they pay. The 16th item, roughly halfway down, for $8,903 is the fees for a state audit for 2015, I believe. 14, that was done in 2015. Yes, that's what it is. About 8 down from there is for $18,000. A little over that is for fuel resale, and then 3 up from the bottom is for $4,232 is the fence repairs for Spray Point. With those 6 items, they total $74,772.86 of the $82,125.96, which leaves about $7,300 left over of the other 31 items. So, unless there's any questions, make a motion that we pay our bills as presented.
I second that.
We have a motion second to pay our bills as they have been presented. Do we have questions or comments? Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We pay our bills. Do you have anything else, Mr. Garrett?
No, I don't.
Mr. Manor, claims and insurance and park liaison.
Yes, we're gonna be meeting pretty soon here with our insurance company. I'm gonna talk to Tim this week sometime and get all our facts together and everything and give him a call, and we're gonna sit down and talk about our insurance for next year. So I'll be having a report on our insurance. So haven't met with him yet, but that's coming. And as far as the park board, I went to the park board meeting and I presented the possible transfer of property from one entity to the next with the park board's 5-year plan. There seemed to be quite a bit of confusion in terms of the board members of the park board. They weren't, I don't believe, I don't know if Phil can speak to this, but I don't believe they were even aware that that road that I told them about was our property. So after talking to them and getting together with Tim and talking to Tim, what came out of that meeting, of course, is they wanted to postpone that, and they wanted our attorney to get a hold of their attorney and have those two sit down and go through this and see what the possibilities can be. I personally, since they have been using that, and this is just my personal opinion, since they have been using that, for exit of cars from the park and stuff like that for many, many years, even though it has been our property all this time, we've never really transferred that property to them. And in my own personal opinion, I don't think we need to open up that can of worms. I do believe that we could possibly just make up some type of thing through our attorney, with their attorney, that states that they have the use of that property, but knowing that it is our property in case there's something that we want to do down the road with that property. So,
Well, then, of course, there comes the issue with maybe some future administration saying, 43, this is your property, you plow the snow. Or you repair the street,
right.
or the curbing, or the lighting. So we need to anticipate those kinds of things happening with another board and another staff sometime in the future. But I agree with you, it's no big deal.
Right.
It's
that's
just a matter of cleaning up your business.
Right, and that's why I would like Mr. Zach Noon to contact their attorney, and they can work that kind of stuff out. If they're gonna use the road for their use to empty the park, then there should be some kind of maintenance going on the road or so forth, or something, like you say, snow plowing, whatever. That shouldn't be our responsibility, I would think, so.
Okay.
Anyway, Mr. Zach Noon can discuss that with their attorney, and we'll come to some conclusion anyway.
Okay, you have to. All right. You have anything else?
No, I don't.
Thank you. Mr. Ferguson, master planning?
Nothing to report.
Mr. Messina, you have something for us on board communications and special events?
I do not. Have nothing.
In terms of port operations, we have a couple issues, or items, not issues. This board needs to approve the memorandum of understanding that's been submitted to us regarding the installation of those life-saving items. And we all have a copy of that. I think we passed out a copy of that at the last meeting. But we need to vote on that and get it approved. So, If some board member feels inclined, I'll accept the motion.
I've had the opportunity to read it over during or since the last meeting, and pretty much understood it all. And I think the only thing I don't know, and I guess we'll figure it out, is the location that they're gonna be placed in. But I'd make a motion that we accept the memorandum of record as written.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the license agreement, which is a memorandum of understanding between the Port Authority and the city for the mounting of the life rings. And I think the document is very, very clear on upkeep and maintenance and care and that sort of thing. I don't really see any questions at all that the Port Authority ought to be concerned about. Are there any questions from the board before I call for the vote?
Do you have anything different, Mr. Zachman?
I don't, it's, as I explained at the last meeting, the onus of, as the president said, repair, maintenance, upkeep is all on the city. And they indemnify us for any damage that is caused.
The only comment I have is that I'm sure, that's a very good point that Dan brought up. I never thought about that, about the putting it over the side of the wall or something that would hinder docking there. And I'm sure that the city would not put us in that position, so I really don't have a lot of concern about it. But there is nothing in the agreement that addresses that.
Well, that's correct, it doesn't, but what it does provide for is if in the opinion of the harbor master, it's for lack of a better term, a nuisance, or
Okay.
it interferes with safety or Port Authority operations, then we can tell the city to move it.
I see. Good, okay.
I like that.
Any other comments or questions? Comments or questions? Hearing none, those who favor the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and it's approved. The other issue I have is it's time to name the nominating committee. Mr. Ferguson agreed to serve as chairman, and Mr. Garrett and Mr. Messina have agreed to work with him on that. After you've met and made your decisions or your recommendations will be presented to the board on the last meeting. I think that's right, isn't it? Last meeting in December.
Which is the 12th.
Well, final meeting in December will be the election. And Mr. Zach Noon, you'll conduct the election. Okay. And that's all I have. Board have any questions with operations? Hearing none, Mrs. Miller, advertising and public relations.
Last week, a team of Michigan City people attended the Super Boat Race International in Key West. That team consisted of members of the LaPorte County Visitors Bureau, the mayor's office, and myself. And we attended to just, reconfirm our agreement and partnership with them, and also to attend some of the races and some of their radio programs, help get their race kicked off and everything, and to make sure they're aware that we support them, and of course, want that event to continue on in Michigan City as well. It went very well, and I think we may even see new racers this time around as well, so that's always a plus.
Good.
For the last couple of years, probably many of us that have walked through the parking lot and talking to as many of the race car people, race boat people as possible. I always try to get a feel for how they feel about coming here, because for a while we were the only ones in the northern part of the country, and I think there's maybe another place they go to now. But the last couple of years, they've said nice things. I'm curious what they've said when you get down there in their country.
They still say it. Actually, we're one of their favorite venues, so that is really impressive. So to hear that from them, especially with the, you know, the way their venue is and all the, you know, participants and everything. So it's great to hear that we're one of their top ones to come and, you know.
Thank you.
It is.
Any other questions or comments from Mrs. Mayor? Thank you for that report. Mr. Zach Noonan?
Yes. I have a couple of items to report on. The first is Mr. Groves tendered another $150 payment pursuant to the settlement agreement. I attended a status conference in the court in Will County on the 9th. I advised the court that Mr. Groves had agreed to a settlement agreement which should be complete as of the end of 2016. I asked the court if he could set another status for January 17th. That way, if Mr. Groves satisfies his agreement, then I'll go in and dismiss the case. If he doesn't, then I'll ask the court to enter orders that would allow the Port Authority to garnish wages, attach bank accounts, and things of that sort. I'm hopeful that he continues to pay as he promised to do, and that I'll go in on the 17th and dismiss the case. But if he doesn't, then I'd be prepared to go forward and try to collect as much as we possibly can from it. It may take some time, but we'll go after it. The other matter is, as I think we all anticipated, the Yacht Club Group and the investor group have tendered to me what I would describe as counteroffer. And those are what were in the envelopes. They were not IRS subpoenas or audits, but rather the counteroffer. And I believe the president has scheduled an executive session for the 17th, this Thursday.
Yes.
At 5 o'clock, at which we can discuss that. And that's all I have.
Board, do you have any questions of Mr. Zeckman? Okay, well, we'll review the newest Yacht Club request at the executive session on November the 17th. Is there any old business to discuss? Phil, you're our only guest. Do you have anything?
Nothing other than Bruce's report was pretty much what took place. And our 5-year plan is just that. It's a 5-year plan right now. There isn't anything etched in stone. And this was something that was brought up. Again, I other than comment that we did direct our attorney to check with Mr. Zach, now get together and figure something out, if indeed that strip does take place. But yeah, Bruce gave a good report.
Board, if there's anything else come before the board, we'll accept a motion for adjournment.
I make a motion we adjourn. Second.
We're adjourned. Thank you, board. Appreciate your
22.